external eyes, which receives light energy and convert it to electromagnetic energy and send signals to the occipital lobe and make us to see the world around us. But there is one more organ that receives light energy through ganglion cells of the retina and make us to get insight. That organ is pineal gland, also known as third eye. In some lower vertebrates, the parietal eye is a primitive light sensitive organ located on the top of the head. It helps to regulate circadian rhythm and dictates chances or changes in the ambient light. The human pineal gland is thought to be a vestigial remnant of this revolutionary or evolutionary adaptation. Pineal gland is a small, a cone-shaped endocrine gland situated behind the third ventricle between the cerebral hemispheres. It is about 0.8 centimeters long and roughly around 100 millimeters. It is supplied by the choroidal branch of the posterior cerebral artery. It is having a nerve supply that is sympathetic from superior cervical ganglion and parasympathetic from the pterygopalatine ganglion and otic ganglion. Its main function is secretion of the melatonin. This pineal gland, being a part of the diencephalon, is centrally located and connected with various areas either by neuroanatomical pathway or by neurochemical pathway and influences their functions. How it is connected to the neuroanatomical pathway? Ganglion cells of the retina, approximately around 2000 to 10,000 cells, send their axons to the suprachiasmatic nucleus. From there, so in a polysynaptic pathway, they go to the paraventricular nucleus of the hypothalamus. From there, it goes to the intermediolateral cell column of the spinal cord. From the spinal cord, preganglionic fibers goes to the superior cervical ganglion. From there, postganglionic fibers goes to the pineal gland. This pineal gland, so all other systems including brain are connected with pineal gland by a neurochemical pathway, that is through melatonin hormone secreted by the pineal gland. Melatonin exerts its action through M1 and M2 receptors. What are the functions of the pineal gland? The main function of the pineal gland is the circadian rhythm. It is also called as body's internal clock that regulates various physical, mental, behavioral changes, primarily influencing by the light and dark. So what are the other functions of the pineal gland? It also takes some role immunity function. It acts as a antioxidant and protects the nervous system, regulates the reproductive system and menstrual cycle by rhythmic hormonal function. Mood regulation and mental health protected by the sleep and wake cycle. It also having other functions like helping in providing insight, executive function, planning, decision making, higher consciousness, spatial awareness and sensory processing and proprioception, memory and emotions. So this is regarding the anatomical way. So there is another aspect of the third eye, that is spiritual eye. It is also called a mind's eye or inner eye or eye of wisdom. It is invisible eye, usually depicted as located in the middle of the forehead, slightly above the junction of the eyebrows. It is referred to sixth of 7 chakras and it is called as Ajna chakra. So Lord Shiva depicted with 3 eyes, referred to as Triyambaka Deva. So the ordinary 2 eyes sees the external world, which is divided dichotomously, that is good and bad, sunset, sunrising, dark and light, left ideology or right ideology. This spiritual eye is little higher level to the ordinary eyes and higher vision, having a special ability to see the external world above the relative dichotomy. When persons goes above this divided world, the individual is going to become divine, that is divinity. I is self and it is different from the mind. So the content of I is awareness, consciousness and bhava. The I, that is self-awareness, is centered in insula of the brain. The ordinary human being functions with ordinary I, that is limited self, and so the extraordinary human beings will work with high evolved I, works with higher insightfulness. So thereby he expands limited self to unlimited universal self, where he sees the world as Vasudaika Kutumbam. So latest neurosciences with the advanced neuroimaging techniques like PET scan or functional MRI, dynamic daily mental function or mind function is explained by network hypothesis. So a normal ordinary person is in default mode network. Firing is present in ventromedial prefrontal cortex and posterior cingulate cortex. So which is depicted in red color in the first picture. Persons doing day-to-day activity, memorizing, performing daily works will have firing in so dorsolateral prefrontal cortex and in posterior parietal cortex depicted with blue color. Persons doing sadhana and meditation, firing in the anterior insula and in the anterior cingulate cortex is depicted in yellow color. A person with higher insight, persons of excellence, will able to switch from a reddish default mode network to bluish executive network to fulfill the day-to-day excellence in work. So activation of the third eye can be achieved by various sadhanas and meditations. Ajna chakra activates pineal glands via insular activation. The I, that is self-awareness, from the center of the insular cortex by practice of yoga and meditation coordinates with pineal gland and executive function of both frontal lobes where hypothetical spiritual I is present. Yoga and spirituality helps a person to grow from I to V. So studies on meditation sadhanas have proven that increased cortical thickness in prefrontal cortex and insula showed improved white matter integrity in the anterior cingulate gyrus after few weeks of meditation. Here I would like to mention few sadhanas and their influence. Sadhana of Gayatri Mantra will help to know self from non-self. So corrects orientation of time, place and person. This correct orientation will guide the individual to differentiate self from non-self. This will help us unifying inner world and outer world by balancing our thoughts, emotions and behavior. Sandhya Vandana, a sacred time to pray the Almighty.
1 minute to conclude.
So monitoring noon and evening. Dasha Disha Namaskar. So that is praying 10 sides of the space. Trikala Sandhya increases orientation of time, place and person. So Dasha Disha Namaskar in mind, it increases the space in the mind. Yoga and meditation stimulates insular cortex, pineal gland and frontal lobes and help in getting the higher insight. So in conclusion, the third eye is a fascinating concept that bridges biological science and spirituality. While the third eye is often linked to spirituality, Its neurological basis involves the pineal gland in the posterior part of the brain, that is Sahasra Chakra. Spiritual eye, Agna Chakra in the anterior part of the brain, and both will be coordinated by the insular cortex, which is the center of eye, that is self awareness. This I evolves into a higher level of insightfulness by increasing self awareness. The insular cortex expands its space to the infinite level with the help of left parietal, that is a right left orientation, and right parietal a spatial orientation. With yoga, meditation, and spirituality, the ordinary person with limited eye level with concrete thinking evolves into a higher level of eye, that is I to V. So pineal gland regulates light sensitive sleep wake cycle of the body and other biological rhythms. However, advanced yoga, meditation, and spirituality can create and experience the expanded vision with enhanced perception, which may align with traditional third eye concept. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bharath Kumar. For those who may not be familiar, Dr. Bharath Kumar is the president of Telangana Ophthalmological Society. Very insightful talk, and I think makes us all think beyond ophthalmology.
Yeah, this concept
the
is
third
really
dimension.
working for, especially from my glaucoma point of view. Like Dr. Tanush Dada at AIMS, he did a study of the mindful meditation, and breathing 365 is really helping patients. Especially though I have started recommending to my patients through one of our yoga instructors, like I am getting a 15 to 20% drop in intraocular pressure. In selected cases, this thing can certainly be prescribed, and we are getting due results, and it is scientific proof